Good evening and welcome everybody to the 13th draw of the 2019 U-18 Canadian National Championships. My name is Selena Sturmey, and alongside me I have Paige Papley, and we are happy to be your announcers for this draw tonight. We would like to begin by acknowledging that we are competing this week on traditional lands of the Treaty 6 nations, including the Blackfoot, Cree, Dene, Gros Ventre, Métis, Nakota Sioux, and Saulteaux. Indigenous people were joined by settlers and pioneers who built this great community of Strathcona County.
Tonight in the 13th draw of the week on Sheet B, we have a girls' draw of Manitoba versus New Brunswick. Our feature sheet is Sheet C, which features the BC and New Brunswick boys. Sheet D has the Alberta and Nova Scotia boys, and Sheet E has the Alberta host team versus the BC girls. In the curling rink on Sheets F, G, H, and I, we have the mixed doubles quarterfinals.
For all you guys tuning in, this is the last round of the championship draw, I believe. This game is a qualifying game to send the winners into a semifinal.
So hammer this draw is not determined by a draw to the pin, but your overall record before the championship round. So BC will have hammer as they finished the pool play at 5-1, and New Brunswick at 4-2.
So up first for New Brunswick is Jacob Nolan. He is currently only 15 years of age. A fun fact about Jacob is his dad, his mom, and two grandparents are all curling champions. They have all played in a national event of some sort, whether it's Brier, Scotty, seniors, or masters. So definitely some good curling blood that runs in his family.
On the BC side, we have lead Tyler Powell. He is from Invermere, British Columbia. He's 17 and in grade 12.
So New Brunswick started this end off with a little bit of aggressive play. I don't know if did you see if they called it in or tight?
I missed it, but they were sweeping basically the whole way down the sheet, so I assumed they wanted it as tight as they could, if not in.
So a fun fact about this event and the Canada Winter Games hosted about 2 months ago in Red Deer, Alberta. Curling Canada selects 4 players from this event and the Canada Winter Games to represent Canada at the Youth Olympics. So I believe the age is to be 16 and under. So Jacob Nolan, lead from New Brunswick, definitely is in the running for that.
This will be Tyler Powell's second shot of the end, and he's playing an open hit.
A nice shot here by Tyler. Can definitely set up the deuce in the first end here.
Supers are going pretty early on this one to hold it. So Selena, can you explain why this rock is going back to where it was, even though it was removed from play?
Yeah, so basically it's because of the 5 rock rule. So the first 5 rocks throw in every end if it is a guard. So if it is above the tee line and out of the rings and over the hog line, so in that area where that rock was taken out, you're not allowed to do that. So if that does happen by accident or by design, it does go back. And this is second Isaiah Downey. He is 17 years of age. And he is currently in grade 12. A fun fact about him, his curling idol is actually his coach, Daryl Nolan. I believe the skip, the lead, and the coach are all family. I'm guessing brother duo at lead and skip, and then their dad at coach.
BC's second, Ben Morin, will attempt takeout on these two New Brunswick rocks in the 4-foot. Ben is 17 and also in grade 12. He wants to apply for RCMP training detachment.
So New Brunswick is electing to play the freeze. Smart call here, actually, in the first end. It's kind of hard to hit either one of those two rocks, so sometimes your best defense is offense here.
Nice thing, too, is he threw a draw down a very similar path on his first rock.
Yeah, the biggest thing to keep in mind here on this shot is to keep the angle of this rock. You don't want to over-curl past the face of that red rock. You want to definitely keep it on the high side, as us curlers call it, so... Just a little bit too heavy and does not quite get to where they want it to. Still overall a pretty good result. They are sitting first and second shots. There really is no double.
Looks like BC will now attempt the same freeze. Bit unfortunate they're rubbing off the their second shot stone.
Yeah, still not overall bad results with all those rocks behind T-line. It's definitely going to be hard to avoid a jam for Will Robertson here throwing third stones for New Brunswick. Overall, pretty good results from that rock.
Next up for Team BC, we have Mitchell Kapitko. He is, again, 17 and in grade 12. Fun fact about him is the reason he got started in curling was he needed a winter sport. Seems to have paid off pretty well for him so far.
I think what they're talking about right now is just to play a soft weight shot to jiggle some of those rocks in the background so the jams aren't in play as much. That's the biggest struggle in the first end, especially when you have so many rocks in play and behind the tee line. Makes it pretty hard to score more than one.
Looks like he's just attempting a freeze here, I believe.
Yeah, I think line is more important than anything here. As long as you get to the face of one of the rocks, you can afford to jiggle things around a little bit.
Yeah, sweepers are right off of this one for now.
Hoping for some late finish here. Not a terrible result. It's going to take BC quite a few shots to get those all those yellows moving.
Yeah, that 4-foot is quite full behind the tee line, which is not always the best thing when you have hammer.
Big shot here in the first end for Will Robertson. I think sweepers called a little bit down out of his hand, so they started sweeping right away. Really great weight control from Will there. Overall, amazing shot.
That was a really good shot. BC's really got to look at their angles now.
Yeah, I think BC needs to start looking at how are you going to score one, because right now there's a lot of rocks in play, and you need quite a few rocks to make some damage in the house. Paige, what do you like here?
Looks like they're trying to play the freeze, which isn't bad as long as you can keep the angle and make sure you have a shot on your next one. I think a setup shot is quite important here. What do you think, Selena?
Yeah, I think right now the rock hurting them the most is actually the rock where Will's second one rolled to, so that yellow one top 4 foot actually.
Yeah, it's regulating access to the rest of them. Unfortunately, Mitchell comes up a little bit light on that one and doesn't really leave them with a great angle. But I guess we'll see what New Brunswick decides to do.
So the skip of New Brunswick is Josh Nolan. I did read in the notes that Josh and Jacob are brothers, and the coach, Daryl, is their dad. So family trio here. So first shot from Josh Nolan, a good opportunity for him to put some pressure on BC here, make things a little bit more difficult for BC to score their one. Really nice shot from Josh. BC is looking at the yellow run back on the New Brunswick stone now. That's always dicey.
Yeah, first end of the game having to play something with such a high level of difficulty. It's never the best thing, but sometimes you have to. So the skip for Team BC is Eric Caldwell. He is 18 years old and in grade 12. One of the highlights that he's mentioned from the past 3 seasons is he actually made the BC Junior Provincial Final against Tyler Tardy this year.
Sweepers are sweeping this one really hard out of his hand.
Yeah.
Not a bad result. Got the double peel. Definitely opens up some options on his next shot here. Were they calling the double peel or were they calling the run?
They were calling the straight run, but the double peel plays pretty well, actually.
Yeah, really good plan B shot there. Team BC has a couple angles now.
Looks like New Brunswick is just trying to throw up another guard, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting they're taking the other turn. I think anywhere on center line here is pretty good. I don't know if BC can actually score one by touching that outside red one.
Yeah. This one's looking pretty close, if not, yeah, that's really good. Looks like BC is going to try to slash that red one in there and hopefully, I don't know, can you move it enough, Selena, do you think?
I think it is there. I think you got to throw a lot of weight at it, though, and you almost got to play to clip that back yellow one back 4 foot. first and hope that the action spins up, because the rock that you're slashing in is going to be the one that scores your 1 point here.
Yeah.
Yeah, in order to get enough action of that yellow one on the pin to actually spin up, you definitely will need a lot of weight.
Looks like he's giving her.
And it will be a steal of 1 for New Brunswick in the first end here.
It's been an exciting start to this game. So far, lots of rocks in play.
Yeah, so BC did just hit that rock a little bit too thick. Needed to keep it a little bit straighter.
I do think I was there for 1, actually.
Yeah, very high difficulty. Had to throw an absolute bomb at it.
And hit it in the perfect place. BC will again have hammer in the second end and hope to score a couple points here.
Paige, do you know if these teams have played each other before in this competition, or is this the first time?
I do know that they were in different pools. So BC was in Pool A, I believe, and New Brunswick in Pool B. So the only...
So yeah, this would be the
don't
first
think so,
time
yeah.
playing each other. New Brunswick is looking for this stone to land up top 4. And they do so pretty good.
BC will throw up the corner guard to try and generate a couple points this end.
So I do believe this is the first national event for Team New Brunswick here. Paige, what was it like playing in your first national event? I think you actually played in one of these, didn't you?
Yeah, I actually ended up playing in the inaugural U-18 national championship in Moncton, and it was very nerve-wracking for the beginning of it. Having never played on arena ice before, and then doing so in an arena with fans and wearing your provincial colors was very nerve-wracking. But overall, like, probably one of the greatest experiences that I've had.
Yeah, I think your year was actually the first year that Curling Canada ran it, right? Before
it was, yeah. It was run slightly differently than this, though. The playoffs were a little bit different, so we never had these like qualifying games that we're actually watching right now.
Yeah. I think all in all, putting on this event and now having a national U-18 level just kind of brings up the level of play and helps juniors get better. And I think in a while you'll also see it carry forward into men's and women's.
I definitely agree. I think a couple of the players at this event actually were at junior nationals this year as well. So being so young and competing at both events is really impressive.
Yeah, and of course, events like these wouldn't be possible with our sponsors. So we'd just like to give a huge thank you for all of your support to Alberta Sport Connection and Strathcona County. They are our platinum sponsors for this event, so definitely a huge thanks for them for making this event possible.
New Brunswick looks like they're trying to play the hit and roll under, but did not quite get that.
BC is calling the come around the corner guard. playing it through the hole between the center line guard and the corner guard.
Yeah. Selena, what are some things that are different about arena ice as compared to club ice that you would usually play on?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that I have noticed over my time playing on arena ice is draws tend to curl a lot more than club ice, and just the overall way that they curl is different. So on club ice, you'll see the very gradual arc type of curl, whereas here it's mainly late finish. So as you see here, it's more like a J-hook curl at the end, so it's all late finish. And then the other biggest difference, I think, is hits tend to actually run a lot straighter on arena ice. You don't necessarily see that curl until you get to a very soft weight hit, like a board waiter hit.
So BC was able to navigate that port, but actually the rock curled enough that it popped out the other side of the guard.
Yeah, I think just that goes back to the principle of the very late finish. So that hole was actually, it didn't look very tight for BC to come through it, but it actually was very tight because just that late finish at the end.
BC hoping to capitalize on New Brunswick's missed shot there. Hopefully sit 2 after this.
Something that I've noticed over these U-18 national championships is the great coaching and mentor programs that these provinces have definitely shows in their players just how technically strong they are, and definitely shows the great coaching we have here in Canada.
Yeah, it's nice to read through all of like the information we're given on all the players and coaches and stuff, and you see that most of the coaches here have actually competed in national events multiple times in Canada. It just shows how great of players they are, and they're able to pass down skills that they've learned and acquired to their players.
So New Brunswick just hits and rolls out there and opens up a window of opportunity for BC here to set up a 2-score. So Paige, what can the sweepers and the thrower expect playing a draw this wide?
So it is pretty early in the game, and you can probably even see it, that the edges of the sheet look a little bit frostier. So you can expect this rock to not go as far as you think. So if you think it's up out of the hand, it's probably actually quite close, and it will curl a little bit more aggressively as it grabs that frost.
Yeah, exactly. So just by grabbing that frost, it causes it to curl a little bit more, which in result kills the weight a little bit.
Yeah, so you kind of want to, as a sweeper, pay attention to where you are on the sheet to make sure that you have brooms down in situations like that.
So same situation for New Brunswick here. They did give ice a little bit wider than what they were throwing in pregame practice. So we can expect this one to curl a little bit more than what is expected and come down a little bit more. And great brush by the sweepers. Just barely sneak it by.
That was a really good manage by the sweepers, holy.
It's one of those shots that you thank your sweepers. So Team BC looking to bail here. I do believe those rocks are close enough together to get drag effect. Do you mind explaining what that is, Paige?
Well, I'm not a skip, but I'll try. So drag effect is when you have two rocks that are frozen together, so touching, and almost nose on nose, and it acts like the top rock isn't there. So if you were to hit the left side of this rock, the second rock will move the same way it would as if you only had one rock there. So kind of like what just happened. Kind of just ignores it. Yeah, so as you see.
So in this replay here, yeah, you can see that those rocks acted as one rock. So even though that they did hit the high side of it, the back rocks still continued to go the way that it would as if there was just one rock there.
There is a specific margin for that to work too. So if the rocks are too far apart or too much offset, it won't work anymore.
Yeah, so I think a good rule of thumb is the width of your foot. If it's smaller than the width of your foot, drag effect will be in play, but if a little bit wider than that, it probably won't. Especially with lively rocks like this. As you can see, their striking bands, you can actually see it right now, are quite small and I guess, for lack of a better word, more bumpy than
abrasive.
More abrasive than your typical club rock. So you will see that drag effect amplified on these lively or sharp arena rocks. And beautiful shot by skip Josh Nolan. Great brushing overall. That was a really good manage.
Yeah, just trying to get that finish in there as it's coming in to get as much buried as they can. BC will play the run back at this again.
Team BC now is looking for the straight run back. Ideally, if you can stick that red one in the house, that is a really good result. But I think at the end of the day, just making it go away, BC is pretty happy with.
Yeah, New Brunswick has actually been forcing BC to make quite a lot of hard shots this game so far.
This one is curling quite a bit. We often see that a lot of the times near center line early on in the game. You see rocks curl near center line more than they probably should, and it's just because there hasn't been a lot of rocks played down the center line there for hits, and there also might be a little bit of frost built up there as well.
A lot of that can be due to how you do your pregame practice as well, which paths you decide to throw, what kind of weight and path and all that kind of stuff you do can take down the frost in some paths, but if you don't put anything down the same path, it will have that bit of frost.
Yeah, exactly. So I think New Brunswick is looking for the hit and roll in here. What they do have to be cautious about is not to set up a double. So I think rolling too far is not really a problem here.
They are sweeping it to get it to curl a little bit more.
And they do just get the hits. Still a really good shot. It forces Team BC to either play the same shot or try and draw for their one.
Looks like they're going to take on the run back again.
Yeah, something I always find interesting is early on in the game, you kind of get to see what your opponents favor shot-wise. So I think you can expect that Team BC definitely favors hits a little bit more, as they did not elect to draw to score their one.
This is Eric Colwell with his final rock of the second end.
Does need to curl up a little bit here. Oh, just misses it. So that is another steal of one for New Brunswick here in the second end. As you can see in this replay, he just misses the one in the house.
How would you say the fact that this is a qualifying game, and if you win this one, you do get to play for a medal here at the U-18 National Championship. Do you think the pressure and the nerves might be a factor for these young athletes?
Yeah, I think ultimately, definitely playing in a high-pressure game like this, it's kind of hard not to think about the result of the game. So I would not be surprised if that pressure is kind of creeping in a little bit. An advantage that BC Med do have over New Brunswick, though, is they have been in these types of situations before. They actually have been to this U-18 championship before, I believe, in 2018. Or no, sorry, this is their first time, but they did play in a competition similar to this, which is Canada Winter Games. Very similar format, and you see a lot of the same teams.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's nice to be able to play in two of these larger competitions fairly close together to know you have to deal with the same kind of nerves, same kind of crowds. Playing against other provinces. So New Brunswick did successfully put another rock in the forefoot on their leads first, and BC will again attempt a corner guard. That's a pretty good corner guard BC threw.
So Team BC is definitely trying to look for their deuce this end. Tie up the game here. That is a fairly high guard from Jacob Nolan. A good freeze from Team BC here can get them out of trouble. Paige, since your lead, what's the most important thing on this shot, line or weight?
It's just really important to maintain the angle. As long as you can make sure that this rock ends up, if you tap it a little bit, it's fine. If you come up a little bit light, it's fine. So I guess line is more important. That was a dumb way to explain that. Yeah, but just making sure you maintain the angle.
Just thinking it out.
My bad.
Really nice shot here.
Yeah, so as I said, he did tap it a little bit, but that angle is still well maintained and usable for Team BC.
Yeah, so it's very hard for New Brunswick to hit this rock, so they are really forced into playing a draw down to it.
New Brunswick skip seems very, very good at communication, making sure his sweepers know where it's okay, where it's good to be, it's okay, if it needs to curl, if it needs to stay straight, or he's good at that constant communication part that is considered important for curling.
Still not a bad result. So BC is looking to tap New Brunswick shot rock stone with about back 8 weight. Speed control definitely is really important on this shot. As I was describing before, arena ice is really sensitive to that curl. As soon as you get a little bit more up than what you were looking for, it will run a lot straighter than what you were looking for. Sweepers are working on this one. And they just click the guard. Still a very usable rock. It does stick in the house. That's what I love about that weight selection. By throwing just that little bit of a down weight, if you do happen to rack, that rock still is fairly useful.
Being that it's behind T-line too is quite nice for Team BC because it's a lot harder for New Brunswick to be able to hit and roll and get into the forefoot even.
So Isaiah Downey, second for New Brunswick, is looking to freeze onto that cluster of rocks in the top forefoot there.
This one looking pretty close.
Does look pretty close. Yeah, it's a very beautiful shot.
Yeah. That puts BC in a bit of trouble again this end.
Yeah, I feel with how much this ice curls, though, you can definitely still get to nose on that rock with a back 8 weight.
Yeah, we just saw his first shot actually overcurl quite a bit, so I think it's quite likely. They are also discussing the double peel. It looks like they've elected to play the tap.
I think either call here is pretty decent. I think it's really important for BC to have a makeable shot for 1 here.
I think if they can get a point on the board or a couple points on the board, it'll just give them a little bit of hope because they've actually not been playing very terribly at all. New Brunswick has just put them in some really tough situations.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in this game is as soon as BC makes a half shot, Team New Brunswick responds with a peach of a shot.
Yeah. Decent, pretty good shot actually.
Really good shot here.
It was able to make contact with both the yellow ones and kind of move them around a little bit.
Great weight control, I believe. I believe BC is sitting 1 rock, 1 shot now.
Sweepers called on pretty early on this one.
So fun fact about Will, he admires Jocelyn Peterman, Brad Gushu, and Kathy Overton Clapham as his curling idols. There's a lot of big Kathy O fans. I believe Jacob's favorite curler is also Kathy O, as well as Josh's. His whole team is a big fan of Kathy O. So they have elected to play the peel here. Got to be careful with this peel. There is quite a few jams in play, but very well executed by Team BC, avoiding all of them.
Nova Scotia's going to attempt a hit and roll now.
Sweepers are trying to make it curl with that outside sweeper going in. They do just get to nose. Still a fairly good shot.
Yeah, they're currently sitting 3.
BC probably will throw the run back here and try and get rid of 2 of the yellows. I think it's really important to, oh, just kidding. They are playing the yellow rock.
I think they're going to try and get that inside roll.
I think regardless, it's really important to make sure you stick your shooter here and don't roll out of the house.
Sweepers called on early.
That is a really nice shot.
Yeah, great swooping on that one to hold it.
Yeah, as we see that rock back 12 foot actually might come into play now.
That was a really small hole between those two rocks.
Yeah, really, really greatly executed from Team BC. As I said before, I believe that they are going to be a really good hitting team, this young BC team.
Yeah, that was BC's third, Mitchell Kapitko, who wants to curl competitively and do engineering at TRU when he's done high school.
So fun fact about Josh Nolan here, he actually is in his first year of university at U of M in mechanical engineering. So good at curling and good at school.
So a lot of time commitments, let me tell you. Impressive that all of these young curlers are able to pursue such challenging things at school while still competing competitively. Nice shot. Overcurling a little bit, but getting rid of one of the red rocks and still leaving himself sitting second and third rock, or shot.
So Team BC is looking for the nose hit here. Is fairly important. He stays around with a little bit of the 4 foot underneath the rock, or a good chunk of the 8 foot.
This is Eric Colwell, who wants to be a real estate agent.
And unfortunately, he does roll out.
Yeah. New Brunswick trying to weigh some options here.
I do believe the very soft weight run is there.
Yeah.
There is a corner guard in play on that side where those yellow-red rocks are, but
we are sitting right behind the sheet, so I think you can see 3/4 of that yellow rock.
Yeah, if not almost all of it.
Yeah, I think it's really close.
Not sure what the call is here.
I think they want to draw to the other side. It's kind of a hard one because you do have to make sure you're shot to force BC's hand. Whereas if you're not shot, you just kind of give them a free draw to the 4 foot.
Yeah. I think if you're going to draw, you may as well almost try and corner freeze the red one in the house.
Yeah, I agree. Try and make it as hard as you can on BC to get their 1, if not 2.
And he does come up a little bit light. I think the level of difficulty on that shot was really, really high. It actually did end up in a fairly decent position because now that draw to the 4 foot is pretty hard.
Yeah. draws still, if you were to play it kind of to your own rock, is still there. Looks like that's what they are doing with that ice, I think.
Yeah, one of BC teammates just mentioned if they liked coming the other way, and I actually don't hate that. I think there definitely is a little bit more room for error playing this the other turn.
Yeah, I agree. Eric Colwell, though, certain with his decision to play the out-turn draw.
And great brushing by the sweepers there to pick up 2 points for BC here in the third end.
That was a great draw.
Yeah, really good sweeping.
So we are back to a tied game, entering the fourth end of play. For the first time this game, New Brunswick will have hammer.
Paige, what do you think both teams' objectives are this end?
I think for BC, it's really important to try and force New Brunswick to a single point. And it is an even end, so I think New Brunswick should be trying quite hard to get their 2 here. Although BC did call their first rock to be top 4, so I'm not too sure. Really great draw by the BC lead, Tyler Powell.
I believe the call is the hit and roll from Team New Brunswick here. I believe they will be looking for the delayed corner guard play here. Paige, do you mind explaining what that is and how that is so effective in the 5-rock rule?
Yeah, so in the 5-rock rule, you obviously have more chances to throw a guard. So the delayed corner is if the other team puts a rock in the house or in a nice or a good place, you want to try and remove it, and then on your next rock, throw the corner guard. So it gives you a little bit more time and a little bit like a less complicated end.
Yeah, so I think Eric Caldwell was kind of testing it out to see if BC or New Brunswick would do that. So as you can see now, they did elect to throw the tight guard. So BC definitely is looking to force the issue a little bit of trying to either steal or force New Brunswick to 1 point.
Be interesting to see if New Brunswick does still call the corner here.
New Brunswick did call the come around. So Paige, what's the ideal depth for this rock?
Top 8.
Why is that?
So top 8 gives you good regulation of the key, but also doesn't put it too deep so that BC can freeze you out and give you less of a scoring area. It actually just puts your rock in a more usable place and makes their come around quite hard.
Yeah, I think the biggest idea behind it is to keep your scoring area as open as you can. So with that being said, if they did put this one dead top 4 with a bunch of freezes, you will see that scoring area starting to shrink down, and then it creates a big problem for you to score your 2 points.
Yeah, so that one is just full 8 foot, which is really, really good depth.
Yeah, really nice shots.
And you see BC trying to call the freeze, so again, you're keeping your scoring area open.
So I think sweepers are calling that it's heavy, so they're switching to plan B and trying to come around this rock top 8. A little bit of misjudgment there. It did over curl.
Still kept a pretty decent angle on that New Brunswick rock, but also set up a staggered guard that they can come around still.
Yeah, I'd almost be tempted to throw a rock to the wing here, so throw it to the side of the 8-foot or 12-foot here, and make Team BC go chase it out there for a while. I think by playing this shot, even if you make it great, you, like we were talking before, cut down that scoring area.
Yeah, play is just going to be to the middle of the sheet this end, which makes scoring your 2 a lot harder sometimes.
So yeah, with it slipping behind T-line like that, a good freeze from BC here can set up the force, if not the steal.
Yeah, if this is made well, New Brunswick will not have a lot of area to score in unless they start moving some stuff around.
So the biggest thing on this shot is, again, that weight control, making sure you give it to your sweepers here, because being a little bit lighter, it does make this rock a little bit more useful than if you're heavy and you kind of hit and roll off that rock back pin.
Oh, they just brushed it.
So BC still is the shot rock there at the back of the 4-foot. And I believe New Brunswick is calling just to come in and freeze that rock. If you tap it a little bit, that's a bonus.
They are having to play out in that slightly wider path than the majority of the game's been played on, so it'll be interesting to see how they manage this rock.
I think the second here for New Brunswick was sliding a little bit tight, as you could see at the end of his release. He tried to put a little bit more rotation on it, which is going to keep it a little bit straighter than what it normally would run. Still, overall, a really good result.
That was a great shot. Looks like BC will again try to freeze this out to cut down New Brunswick's scoring area.
So a quick update on the other scores here in your qualifying games. Alberta host versus BC. Alberta host is leading 3-1, playing the 4th end. And your other qualifying game for the girls, New Brunswick is leading Manitoba 3-0 with a series of steals in the 1st and 3rd end. And for the boys game, obviously in this game, it is tied 2-2, playing the 4th end in our featured game. And then Alberta boys team and Nova Scotia, Alberta boys are leading 2-1, playing the 4th end.
BC attempting that freeze came up a couple feet short, but that's still a pretty decent rock, I'd say, for BC.
So a fun fact here about Will, he actually is in the process of becoming competition coach certified. So he is looking back to give back to the sport, which is, I think, huge at this age. You reap the benefits of all the coaching when you're young, and then it switched to a time when you're starting to become the one who needs to be giving back to the curling community.
Yeah, so unfortunate there. They kind of touched the top red rock and ended up jamming. But I believe they're still sitting 1, if not 2. Maybe
yeah, I think they're sitting just 1.
Yeah.
Double opportunity here is available for Team BC, though. Not an easy shot by any means, so you have to be very careful not to be wide and jam it on your red one top 4. It does look pretty close. That was really close.
Yeah. Just needed to curl up a tiny bit more.
Yeah, I think Team New Brunswick definitely has to address the issue of that red stone sitting top 4 foot. That definitely is the most dangerous stone for them right now, and they are calling a timeout to see where the best place for this rock is.
So both teams are allowed 2 90-second timeouts a game. Both coaches are allowed to come out and talk to their teams during this time.
Yeah, so for New Brunswick, Coach Daryl Nolan or Josh and Jacob's dad is going to give some advice here. He has been coaching for 27 years, so he's definitely been around this game quite a bit. Fun fact about him, he has actually played in 4 national championships and actually got a Brier bronze medal in 1997. He's coached in 2 junior nationals, 6 Briers, and 5 Scotties. So definitely a key component of this New Brunswick team. And I believe he also was the team leader for the 2006 World Junior Championships, which was Charlie Thomas. Charlie Thomas was out of Alberta, curled out of Alberta for many years. I think even though he's coached at a bunch of nationals, I think this one's probably the most sentimental to him, as this is his first nationals he's been with his sons.
It's nice to have your family able to, you know, be there and also help you out and know that how much experience your coach has to be able to guide you in some situations where you're not quite sure what to do.
Yeah, I'm sure he's played a very vital role in the development of his sons.
Definitely.
So I think they did elect to do something with that red BC stone sitting top 4 foot.
Yeah, it looks like they're either just trying to guard or freeze it, one of the two, to block off BC's opportunity to run their red into the yellow one sitting top pin.
Yeah, I think either one is pretty good here. You just need to make sure that if you are playing the freeze to it, that you need to get pretty close to nose. So if they do get pretty close to nose and BC elects to play that shot, their red one is going to be leaving the house and rolling out of the house. So still a pretty good shot. That's a really good shot. Definitely takes that shot away.
Yeah, they were definitely within tolerance on that one.
BC looking to respond now by the freeze with the wide out turn. So like I said before, by playing that come around on, I believe it was the second first rock, it definitely shrunk that scoring area. As you can see now, it's going to be really hard for Team New Brunswick to find a spot in the 4 foot to get their 2 points this end.
Selena, what's tolerance on this shot, do you think, for Eric?
I think it's this shot actually you have to be pretty close to. It doesn't do much good if you're really light, and it doesn't do much good if you're heavy. So I think if you are going to miss it, I think it's better to miss it a smidge light, but I think you definitely need to have some paint underneath this rock, which he definitely does.
New Brunswick is just making sure that they're able to still get second shot by playing this.
Yeah, I think if you can get frozen to it, that's a great shot. Keeping in mind your tolerance, I think it's better to be light here. Then come heavy, just having it light, it is more of a usable stone that way. It's nice that he gets a free crack at the draw, because more than likely he will have a draw on his second shot here. So it's always nice to have 2 throws down the same path.
Even back-to-back is just nice sometimes. Although I think he has actually had a chance to play quite a few draws this game so far.
So they are going for line fairly early here to keep it straight. This rock does look a little bit heavy.
Yeah, it's definitely got to stop.
So that's actually a fairly decent result. It makes it pretty hard for Team BC to make a play on those rocks.
Yeah. They ended up fairly even, which is quite nice for Team New Brunswick.
Yeah, and they are edge on edge with all the rocks in the top 12 foot, if not even a little bit buried. So definitely actually a really great result. I think if anything, you just got to play a heavy draw and try and tap it and cut off his draw path for 2 points here.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that's what they're doing.
It's amazing how many parents were able to make it out for this event, as you see in the background. The stands are quite full with family, friends, and supporters, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, especially considering a lot of the teams out on the ice right now are actually from the farthest east side of our country. So they've all made a lot of long journeys to get here.
I think Team BC always wins the most enthusiastic crowd, though. Anytime I've ever been to nationals, they always definitely have the coolest signs and the So this is going to be a free draw for 3, I believe. So pretty much the same shot he actually just threw.
Yep. Fortunately for BC, they were a little bit heavy there and did not quite get the finish they needed.
Yeah, I think more than anything, that was just more weight than what he was looking to play there.
Yeah, you hit that weight that just starts to straighten out a little bit more on this arena surface.
Yeah, you almost got to throw that one just back 4 and then let your sweepers make up the difference.
Yeah, because you did not need to move that rock overly far to
No.
make the New Brunswick skip have a really tough shot on his last.
No, yeah, you just needed to move it a couple feet.
Yeah.
So free draw for 3 here from skip Josh Nolan of the New Brunswick men's team. This would definitely be a huge 3 points to put on the board. Does look a little bit heavy, and it will just be 2.
All right, so going into 4th and break, our feature sheet, we have New Brunswick up 4-2. We'll see you in a bit.
And welcome back, everybody, to the 2019 U-18 National Championships hosted here in Sherwood Park, Alberta at the Glen Allen Recreational Complex. Your announcers are Selena Sturmey, which is myself, and Paige Papley.
We are underway in the fifth end already, with New Brunswick putting their first rock in the top of the 4 foot, and BC just throwing a hit, which ended up being nose.
Yeah, so both teams got the chance to get a 5-minute break after the fourth end here, where they got to talk to their coach and have a little bit of a snack break. Paige, what's your favorite fourth end snack?
I like the banana muffins your mom makes.
Those are always a crowd hit.
Yeah,
Shout out to Laverne for the banana chocolate chip muffins.
Thanks, Laverne.
It's funny because curling has gotten to the point where you literally have cooler bags on top of cooler bags of snacks for 5 minutes in the game.
Our team is the worst. We have like 7 containers that we pull out that have different things in them, and we sit down and have an absolute picnic.
It's the best part about curling. No other sport has that. So this end is being played fairly clean. Both teams are probably looking for the blank here. After a pretty aggressive first 4 ends, for the first time we are seeing very defensive play.
Why would the teams be looking for a blank in this end, Selena?
Yeah, I think what actually happened is Team BC was going for the delayed corner guard, but happened to roll out, I believe. So I guess now they just are looking for the blank and don't want to get into anything too sticky.
Yeah, maybe give themselves a chance to score in an even end as well. Especially the 6th end.
Yeah, the good thing about blanking this end for Team BC, even though being 2 down, it does give them basically 2 more hammers than what they normally would have had. So they would have hammer in the 6th end, assuming that they score, and then New Brunswick would have hammer in the 7th end, and BC would have hammer in the 8th. So it gives them 1 more hammer advantage by blanking this end.
Although you do still want to score your 2 if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure next end we can see Team BC go quite aggressive for their 2 points.
Definitely.
If you do see a mistake out of Team New Brunswick here, I would not be surprised if you see that corner guard go up, though.
I agree. You definitely have to capitalize on the other team's misses. New Brunswick will again play the hit on the one that's in the rings. End up with a nose hit, which is pretty good for them.
So after an action-packed first 4 ends, we are seeing very defensive play now. You got to balance it out, right?
Can't have too many rocks in play every end or your parents will die of a heart attack.
Yeah, I can't imagine what the parents go through watching this. I know just watching a couple of my brother's games, I think my blood pressure definitely was raised a lot. I feel myself breathing faster for no reason when I watch him.
I think the hardest part is having no control. When you're out here, it's a completely different experience than watching.
So there is a little bit of a chance for some offense to be started by BC here. But no mistake made. Will from New Brunswick third, does successfully make the peel.
Looks like BC will not attempt the corner guard. They're just going to try to draw to the T line on the wing here.
Yeah, maybe they'll get a jam come into play with that rock just fighting the back line, you might see a jam, and maybe magically you get a deuce out of it somehow if New Brunswick does make a mistake. So each team does get 30 minutes of thinking time. So Paige, can you explain what that means?
So thinking time is the time that you're allotted to just look and analyze and decide a shot to throw. So each team's thinking time starts when the opponent's rock comes to a stop. So as you can see, New Brunswick is throwing right now. So as soon as their rock stops, BC's time clock will start, and it will run until the player delivering the stone crosses the tee line. Just gives you, kind of keeps the game moving, but also makes you pay attention to how long you're spending looking at things.
Yeah, something that's really impressive is for a lot of these teams, it's probably one of the first times on time clocks. And all of these teams have done really well. There never really has been any game where it comes down to the wire, just like Kevin Cooey has been in these past couple of games. I can't even imagine that would be something so stressful.
Yeah, I don't even know if we ever had less than 2 minutes to throw your last rock. At 2 minutes, we were getting stressed out.
So rolling over there does maybe set up a potential jam. I think even if they do jam it, that rock will be out of the house, but it will leave an opportunity for BC to come down and freeze it again and maybe generate something in this end. I think that's wishful thinking, though.
Yeah.
Ideally, if New Brunswick can actually nose this rock and get rid of those two back there, that's probably the most ideal outcome.
They will just roll out, though. And BC will draw to that same side of the sheet. So throwing to the wings, Selena, at this point in the game, is it going to be faster? Is it going to be slower? Like, what's the thought behind that?
Yeah, so a lot of the times, more than not, it actually will be a smidge quicker or keener to the wings. The fact just being that so much traffic has been in the middle of the sheet that you're not going to see any weight come off of that rock, and it's just going to slide that little bit further.
Something to be mindful of.
So a little bit of a score update for you. Obviously, in our featured game here, New Brunswick is leading 4-2, playing the fifth end. And all of these games, for all you guys who have just tuned in, are qualifying games to play in the semifinals tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So the other boys' qualifying game is Alberta versus Nova Scotia, and they're having a really tight game. They are tied 2-2, playing the sixth end. For girls' games here, same scenario. These are all qualifying games. So in Manitoba New Brunswick game, we have New Brunswick leading 5-4. Manitoba managed to squeak out a big 4-ender in the fourth end to bring them back into the game after being down 3-0. And then in our last qualifying game for girls, we have the Alberta host team leading BC 3-2, playing the fifth end. So all really close games here tonight at the Glen Allen Recreational Complex.
And we just did just have New Brunswick roll out on their hit, so BC will have a free blank end, I guess.
Yeah, these are always nice to throw as a skip. I don't think I've ever missed one.
I hope not.
Something to keep in mind in free shots like this, you don't necessarily just want to whiff it down the sheet. A lot of the times you will see teams play a hit weight or a board weight or a hack weight in a spot that they're not too sure of how it's going to run yet. So maybe just trying to figure out a tricky spot in the ice. It's kind of a freebie shot. So that was a blank end in the 5th end. Going into 6, we will see BC go hard for their 2, and more than not, we will see New Brunswick try and force here.
Should be more aggressive end than the last one and a lot more similar to the rest of the game so far, is what I'm expecting.
Yeah, we should see quite a few rocks in play here.
Did you see if New Brunswick wanted this in?
Yeah, New Brunswick did call it for top 4 weight here. If it is perfect top 4, we might see Team BC elect to hit and roll to the wing to set up that delayed corner guard play, or we might just see that corner guard go straight up. So I think they did lose that rock a little bit, and it comes up light, so I don't see the need to hit that rock. You will see that corner guard go straight up from Team BC.
Again, BC's lead is Tyler Powell. His favorite curler is Ben Hebert, as he shows a lot of intensity on the ice and puts a lot of work in at the gym. Eric Caldwell coming up to help finish this rock.
So a fun little fact about these Nolan brothers. The younger brother that throws lead rocks, Jacob Nolan, shown right there, actually shares the same birthday with their dad, which is also the coach. So Jacob and Daryl's birthday is June 4th, and that's pretty special to share that.
I believe Jacob is the youngest player on the sheet at the moment.
Yeah, only 15 years of age.
BC's going to try and utilize the corner they put up by playing a hit and roll.
Paige, what kind of a hit weight selection would you choose on a shot like this, and why?
So it's really, really important that you stick your shooter, even if it doesn't end up perfectly behind the guard. Just having a rock in play is very useful. So a lighter weight hit is probably what you want. It also brings your sweepers into play.
Yeah, exactly. So even though that's not what they're looking for, that's still a really good result. I believe it is almost half buried behind New Brunswick's rock top 12. So a really good plan B shot called by BC Skip here. The team that usually does the best at these types of events is the ones who pick up on the ice and the rocks the quickest and seem to get the most out of every single shot. I think that's why communication is so important in curling, hey?
Yeah, definitely. Especially in games like this where nerves can play a factor. As long as you're talking and constantly communicating with your team, you have a better chance of making more shots. So New Brunswick just over curling a little bit on that run back. Leaves the BC rock sitting in the back 12 foot and allows them to use that corner guard to come around.
This is a big opportunity for Team BC. If they can manage to sink a really good rock here behind the corner guard, it definitely brings a 3-point score into play here in the 6th end.
Yeah, that would be huge for Team BC to score 2 or even more in this end.
Sweepers are working on this one the whole entire way.
Weight looks really close. A little up, but had to go for line there.
And he will slip a little bit deep. And I think he is popping out to the other side of the guard as well. So there might be a double in play here for Team New Brunswick to respond with. Yeah, so really smart call here from New Brunswick skip. He is calling a peel weight double takeout. So the most important thing with this shot is to give minimum ice, and if you clip the top guard, that's definitely the miss. You don't want to miss this one on the wide side.
Not at all.
Sweepers are going on it.
Looks like he'll just have the peel, which is totally fine.
Yeah, really important to know your tolerance on that shot as a thrower, which I'm very positive he did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Josh actually told him that the guard was okay, which helps reinforce the fact that, yes, it might be minimum ice, but it's okay.
Yeah, so another really smart call here from the BC skip. He called for a tight corner guard. I think what he has done here by calling that tight corner guard, where he actually tapped that rock that Team New Brunswick was trying to hit, actually still will be there. The double still will be there, but I think he's just giving credit to his opponent that that shot's probably going to be made, and he will have the come around on his next shot here. So that double definitely still is there. A nice corner guard still in play here, though.
Yeah, that was a really good shot.
And a very nice peel by Will. So a fun fact about this New Brunswick team, they have curled over 70 games this season. It's a lot of curling games.
That is a lot of curling games.
Especially for a young team like this. I believe that this is Team New Brunswick's first national appearance, though, for these players.
Looks like BC's changing tactics here, not electing to throw the guard again, but just put another one in the rings.
Yeah, I think there comes a time in the end where you have to kind of switch gears because those rocks are behind T-line and there is quite a wide range of space between them. New Brunswick may switch tactics, and instead of peeling that guard, they just might come and freeze to those rocks. A nice hit and flop here can get Team New Brunswick out of a little bit of trouble.
This is looking pretty close.
Yeah, sweepers are on and off of it. And pretty good shots. It's going to be hard to put this rock in a place where there's no easy double. So it's really important to stick the shooter there, which Will Robertson, third for Team New Brunswick, did.
Yeah, BC will have a hit here, but can they nose it? No.
I think they can, but you're going to be really close to that back one.
head for line here.
So Team New Brunswick actually has quite a few options for a double. They can either nose it and get the doubles on the 2 rocks lined up, or they can hit about half to a third of the rock and get the two rocks out close to the 4-foot there.
I believe they motioned to play the 2 that are in the 4-foot and 8-foot, not the straight back.
Yeah, that's actually a fairly smart call. If you over curl a little bit, you probably catch that other double. And especially with playing this turn, more times than not, you're gonna over curl than under curl. So big shot here from Josh Nolan, skip of Team New Brunswick.
Sweepers are called on right out of the hand. And they're working pretty hard.
And they do just get the 1. So Team BC is going to have to be pretty precise where they put this one to not set up a very easy double or even triple for that matter.
Yeah, you know, as Team New Brunswick does not have hammer, if you set up even like a possible triple, I could see them attempting it.
Yeah, I think it's really important to position this rock where it's not directly in front of that one back 12-foot, because Team New Brunswick's call is going to be to play that double with the 2 rocks sitting in the house right now. So making sure that this rock that the skip of Team BC is throwing right now is not going to be covering where Team New Brunswick's rock is going to be going to. Sweepers are going on this one the whole entire way.
Gonna try
Some really great sweeping from Team BC up here.
Yeah, they're trying as hard as they can to get a piece of the paint here. It's really close.
I don't know if they're gonna be shot over that yellow one.
No.
So like I said before, if New Brunswick does nail this double, it's gonna be a force here for Team BC. The nice thing, though, is more than likely skip Eric Caldwell will be throwing a draw on his 2nd rock, so he will have a very good idea of what weight to throw there.
Yeah, he should also be able to throw a pretty similar path if he does have that draw on his next one, or chooses to throw it anyways. Sweepers again called on pretty early to hold the line and to make this double. It's looking really close.
Beautiful shot, no mistake made there. Josh is pretty pumped about that one. It's always a sweet feeling as a skip. And there is a replay of that amazing double.
Great work by the sweepers on that one.
Yeah, all around, really amazing team shots.
Yeah,
great sweeping, great line calling, really great throw. And there it is. Really excited. Man, that's one thing I love about curling is watching the sellies.
Me too. I love how intense people are when they curl.
Just curlers are pretty emotionless for the most part, and then you get a good shot and emotion comes flooding out.
Sweepers are cleaning. Now they're sweeping this one. Looks pretty close.
Yeah, it should be fairly close. They're just playing with it now.
It's a nice thing to do as a sweeper.
And that one, that will be One red for Team BC, making the score 4-3 for New Brunswick, going into the 7th end of play.
So what can we see Team BC and Team New Brunswick looking to do this next end?
Yeah, so with the score being 4-3 for New Brunswick and New Brunswick having the hammer, I think the biggest thing is to not give up a steal here for Team New Brunswick. Scoring one or blanking or even taking two I think is a happy bonus. But yeah, just keeping in mind to have an easy and very makeable shot for your one at the end of the 7th end here is all that New Brunswick really needs to keep control of this game. So we should see Team BC elect to go tight with their first rock here, throw up a guard. So sweepers are just lightly cleaning it, looking for a halfway to tight guard here.
Ends up almost on center line, but at a very good depth.
Team New Brunswick is looking for the come around, and actually very smart turn choice here. He is electing to play the very wide in turn, being that if Jacob Nolan, his younger brother, does happen to come up light, that center line and middle is still open.
In the back of his mind, he's always making sure he has that path for his one.
Yeah, when you're skipping, most ideally you always want to make sure you have one draw for your 1 point and another shot somewhere to score that one.
So BC will try to freeze out this New Brunswick rock that is full top 4 foot behind their guard.
We do hear Team BC comment that the ice is a little bit slower on this side. So Paige, what does that mean?
So sometimes on a sheet, the speed, so the draw, like how hard you have to throw the rock to get it to the same place is different throughout the sheet. So Team BC has acknowledged that the sheet D side of the ice is a little bit slower, which means you just have to kick out a little bit harder to get the rock to the same place.
Yeah, that could be also attributed from many different things. So early on in the game, there was a lot of play on this out-turn hand side of the sheet. So just multiple rocks down that path and consistent sweeping might have worn down the pebble a little bit more, causing that rock to not glide on top of the ice as nicely, resulting in heavier ice.
Sometimes the best way to make it out is actually just to have your sweepers operate differently, or just be very conscious of how they're sweeping the rock and when to put your brooms and when not to. So then it's a little bit easier on the thrower, not having to try and kick differently than they know.
So Team BC is looking for the wide in-turn come around now. Set up a couple different angles here. Get a couple rocks in play and maybe generate a steal.
Yeah, so this is Ben Morin from Vernon.
All of these players have great deliveries. They all slide very, very straight. Something that's definitely going to help them moving forward. So this rock is starting to curl a lot now.
Yeah.
I think if anything, yeah, just too much ice and skip Eric Powell, or Eric Caldwell does does recognize that. So I'm surprised we are not seeing the peel being called from Team New Brunswick here. Without that guard in play, it does open up quite a few options for Team New Brunswick here to defend against that steal.
Yeah, I feel like by leaving that in play, you give BC a couple opportunities to use some spots on the sheet that they know really well. And
yeah, well, especially even if you peel that guard, there's a very natural double on those two red rocks, as you can see here in this replay.
yeah, so now we have Ben Morin again throwing the same turn and same path that he already threw. So it kind of gives him the chance to throw a very similar shot that he threw well.
Eric Caldwell did give a little bit less ice, so he should be really close with this one here.
Yeah, they are just calling the freeze, which is very good. Calling to finish this a little bit at the end. So they did end up bumping off their own, but leaving a really nice angle on that New Brunswick stone.
Yeah, I don't know. You either got to start getting more yellows in there or bail and peel that guard.
Yeah, you've got a couple of really good BC rocks in really good positions right now that you should probably be a little bit concerned about. So we did kind of just see New Brunswick almost make BC's shot for them, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's definitely the danger with that shot. Definitely got to be very careful now, making sure you have a makeable shot for one here.
Mitchell Kapitko throwing the third stones for Team BC. Really great shot. Now Team New Brunswick will definitely have to address those BC rocks that are clogging up the key.
Yeah, there's no real great way to call a double either. That jam is in play.
Will Robertson making his way down to the ice to get a closer look at this.
I wonder if you ever throw a peel weight down the center line and just try and nose that one on center line.
Yeah.
If you do happen to be a little bit wide and click that top red one, your shooter probably rolls into that red one on the side of the forefoot in front of that yellow.
Yeah, that'll definitely open up your area.
Definitely got to be very careful with where you hit this here. I almost like, yeah, I think they motioned for the out turn. I think this is a very smart call. You have lots of plan B shots here, even if you're a little bit tight and peel the guard. Not a terrible result at all.
Yeah, that's definitely an outcome we discussed earlier in the end.
So big shot here from third Will Robertson on Team New Brunswick. We are probably going to see this rock with some speed behind it.
Yep.
They are trying to make it curl here. So yeah, not a bad result.
No, that's a really good result. They are still sitting second shot, which is quite nice for them.
So we should see the guard go up by Team BC here. Team BC is definitely going to be a little bit cautious not to set up an easy double peel, so we probably will see this one tight to the rings.
Yeah, sweepers really aren't working on it too much yet, so weight must be close to a little bit up.
And like Eric Caldwell says, they need to bite the center line to make sure there's no hole between them. It's very close, but I do not think there's a hole.
They did set up the double peel, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't hate the double peel because as long as you get the outside one, like he's motioning, you do have the double off that side one. He can't guard everything. Oh, I don't like that draw, but
yeah, I don't know if you can ever get to that rock very easily right now with those two guards coming around either way.
Yeah, and they did elect to call timeouts. So this is New Brunswick's second timeout of the game. So this is their final timeout. If this game should happen to go to an extra end, both teams get one timeout, but timeouts not used and 8 ends of play do not carry over. So we will see what Coach Daryl Nolan has to say. Definitely a lot of experience behind him.
On BC's side, they have Coach Dale Hoffer coming out to speak to them. He has been involved with the team for about 4 years. Not all 4 players, but a combination of some of them and some others. Fun facts about BC's coach is he started curling in 1965 on natural ice in Good Soil, Saskatchewan.
I'm pretty sure that's a very small town.
Yeah, I don't know much about Saskatchewan, so. Looks like their coach has talked them into playing the double peel.
Yeah, I think this is the right call and a very smart call. Even if you miss the double peel, it definitely opens up options to play in the rings and minimize damage for Team New Brunswick here.
Yeah, even just getting one is quite good. Getting 2 is obviously what you want, but
a single peel play is really good here, though.
Yeah.
Oh, this is curling quite early, I think.
Yeah, looks like he's going to be on the inside of it.
Nevertheless, it's still a peel. Still a good shot. Plays well.
Looks like BC was going to replace that guard. Might try and put it a little bit deeper, though.
Yeah, you definitely have to be careful with the placement of the guard here. You definitely can't guard everything, but Team New Brunswick will have that in-off that red one. By playing that, they also do have to be careful where the red one that they're hitting first spins to. It probably will be dead jamming on the other red one right behind it, but it's definitely a hard shot.
Yeah, Eric Caldwell just looking to guard Team New Brunswick's easiest shot, which is the straight hit on that red one.
I think if you have the crack at it with Josh Nolan's first skip of Team New Brunswick, you almost have to play that in-off. Especially with where this guard is going to be placed, you're probably going to be smack dab underneath it.
Yeah. If that in-off's available, it'll definitely make BC's life hard if he can make it. This guard does look like it's over-curling a little bit.
So Paige, playing in many of these events, I think you've been to 2 national events and 1 world event. What's the most challenging thing playing in a arena environment?
I would say a lot of the times, especially getting towards the end of a competition, a lot of the times the noise is really well, not even distracting. It's just like you just have to make sure that you're communicating really clearly with your team because it's so loud and you have to make sure you're paying more attention to what everyone's doing to make sure that you can make your shots as best as you can. And then also just like staying focused on your game and what's going on at the moment.
So what are some strategies that teams like this can use to overcome some of those noise barriers that interfere with communication a little bit?
Hand signals. Hand signals are very clear, and then depending on how loud it gets, even on like some hits and stuff like that, we would even just have the outside sweeper just looking up and being like a mouthpiece to the one who's actually sweeping if it got that loud, just to make sure, because you don't really want to mess up on important big shots if it's loud in there.
Sweepers are sweeping this one. It looks very close. Big shot here from Josh Nolan. Oh, that's actually a really unfortunate result.
So, yeah, BC now sits 2.
Yeah, like I said before, I think if you're playing that, you almost got to play a lot more weight to hit that one a lot thicker.
Yeah, they just ended up catching the back of that BC one that was on the top of the pin. And that red one did roll, as you said, back over.
Really unfortunate from that shot.
So we have Team BC calling their first time out of the game.
I thought this was their second. Maybe not.
I think it's their first. This is, I think, the 3rd overall time out of the game. Seeing that New Brunswick still has 1 rock to throw this end, and they are out of timeouts, it also gives New Brunswick time to talk to their coach, which is quite nice for them.
Yeah, so right now the only shot that Josh, the skip of Team New Brunswick, really has to score is one right now is the intern draw. So I think whatever Team BC is playing, they're most definitely going to be playing the intern to block that off. And if made really well, it can put some pressure on for a 2-steal or even a 3-steal. I think at this level of play, really nailing down and making these shots are what kind of sets above teams a little bit. Capitalization is huge at this this age.
Yeah, like you just saw New Brunswick with like a very costly miss potentially that worked out in your favor. So you really want to not let them off the hook for missing a curling shot, especially this late in the game. BC is taking ice on the very edge of the sheet.
Yeah, I think maybe they're electing not to come in and just to throw a guard to block off that hit and to block off the draw path.
What would you say is the ideal place for this rock, Selena?
I think it honestly really depends on how much it curls here. If you can, I think halfway to tight is the most ideal.
Yeah, and then like right in front of that red rock of theirs, would you say?
Yeah, nevertheless, you have to make sure it doesn't over curl because it doesn't matter how tight or how high it is. If it over curls, it's not much use.
Just getting that one over, which good sweeping. Really good sweeping on that one.
Yeah, the downfall to BC Skip here. He definitely has been struggling a little bit with weight control as he has been leaning a little bit more towards hits with shot selection. So he definitely hasn't given himself the best opportunity to find that draw weight.
Especially by having to play out in like very, very wide path that I don't think has yet to be played that wide. Going this way also makes his life a little bit harder, especially when you're struggling with weight control.
Yeah, with how much this ice curls, that guard is in play, but you can definitely miss it by quite a bit and still get very close to where you want to be. So weight control is definitely going to be the biggest.
Sweepers are trying to make this one curl.
Yeah, I think I just threw it a little bit too heavy from what he was looking for, so he did end up giving a steal of 2.
Would you say that the fact that BC came up just over the hog line and struggled to get it almost over, did that play a part in him kind of overthrowing that rock?
Maybe. I think that might have been a product of it, but I think just from a thrower's perspective, you look at that shot and you say I can't be light. So when you are throwing that, thinking in the hack, your tolerance definitely is going to be to throw that one heavy more often than not.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, what really got them in trouble that end was, I believe, not peeling that center line guard sooner than they did. I think they just left too many rocks in play, and they could have chosen easier shots with similar or better outcomes.
Yeah, and BC was also like quite good at capitalization that end, which made any of their half shots that they threw a little bit worse than you would expect. So BC is now up 1 point, playing the last end of this game without Hammer.
So he does slip a little bit deep. That is definitely a miss that Team New Brunswick can capitalize on here by getting to throw that corner guard.
Sweepers are working pretty hard on this rock to try and get it to that tight guard position, as the skip is indicating he wants it.
Yeah, that guard did come up a little bit short, so if New Brunswick has the chance, we will see another corner guard probably go up on that side, but tighter to the rings.
BC will now throw, they're hoping for a very tight guard here, just to protect that one in the back forefoot. Sweeper signaling that they think this one is in the rings, not a guard.
And it does just shop short of the rings.
Very tight guard. Unfortunately, they did leave the side showing that is closest to the opposition's corner guard, but
yeah, I think because it is majority open, you definitely can take this advantage to come around your corner guard, or even if you're light and just fighting the top 12, that's a
pretty good shot still.
Yeah, really good shot. I think keeping in mind, if you're Team New Brunswick, you have to keep in mind that 2 is great for the win, but make sure that you still have that shot for 1 for the tie.
Yeah, you don't want to get too engrossed in making sure that you have that shot for 2 that you forget that you just need 1 to still have a chance at winning this game.
And really nice shots from lead Jacob Nolan.
Very good. BC will attempt to guard again, a little bit higher this time, and hopefully covering the other side of that rock.
So Team BC is going fairly aggressive and wanting 2 center guards in play here. Smart call here. You will see the call for the peel go up. I think they are maybe wanting to play a little bit more defensively and make sure they have that shot for 1. So both teams are really good for time, for thinking time. Team BC has 6.5 minutes and Team New Brunswick has just over 5 minutes. So definitely more than enough time to play this end and then some.
Yeah, usually teams, or the thought process behind it is you have 4 to 4.5 minutes an end, which both teams definitely have more than that. Even considering this is a tight game in the 8th end, I don't believe any team should encounter time trouble.
Team BC is calling for the single corner peel here.
Not throwing a lot of weight at this one.
No, I'm not sure if that's by accident or design.
Works though. Made the peel and rolled to almost as good as out.
Paige, what would you do here?
Looks like they're gonna play the freeze. That probably isn't a bad call.
Yeah, I think keeping in mind just that, making sure you have that shot for 1, this is a very smart call.
Yeah, because you have a pretty large margin for error here, which is nice too.
Yeah, especially since where that yellow one is in the top 12, you really have no great draw path right now.
He's looking really close.
Really nice shots. Team BC should respond with a freeze.
Which they will.
That was a really nice manage from Team New Brunswick here. A great team shot. Managed it pretty perfectly.
Definitely.
Put some pressure on Team BC here and see if they can respond with a nice shot as well.
Yeah, this is a pretty crucial shot for Team BC. If they don't make this decent, it'll make New Brunswick's life a lot easier to get there too.
Yeah, exactly, with that one top 12 and just the angle that Team New Brunswick has on that rock.
This is looking pretty good though.
Yeah, that's a really nice shot.
It's a really great shot.
Yeah, they're gotta start peeling or... These players are definitely coming to play in the last end here. I don't think there's been really a shot yet that's missed. Or even close to being missed.
Nope, I think the closest to missed we've seen is only burying or covering half of a rock you're trying to guard.
They look really close to this shot here.
Roll it, roll it, roll it.
Oh, that's still a really good result.
Yeah.
Ah, that's really tricky. If you hit that one, it's going into those on the pin.
You almost can't touch them.
Yeah, BC is going to be forced to play the guard pretty much from here on out.
Yeah, I feel like New Brunswick eventually might use that. Even if this guard is made really well.
Yeah, exactly.
They're calling this one heavy a little bit.
So playing guards on arena ice actually is not the easiest thing, surprisingly. Guards are really weight sensitive.
Yeah, so one of the biggest things I've noticed is if you're trying to throw a tight guard versus like a high guard, the ice you have to take is different. And if you end up, like, you take less ice for a high guard, but if you throw the high guard and you're a little bit heavy, you're definitely going to see the overcurl quite drastically. I would know.
So a little bit of a score update here for you. We did see New Brunswick girls become victorious over Manitoba girls. Even after giving up 4 in the 4th end, they responded back with 2 in the 5th end and a steal of 2 in the 6th end to secure that win. The Alberta host team and the BC girls team are having a really tough battle here. They are tied up coming home with BC having hammer, but it looks like there's a lot of rocks in play, and it might end up with a steal, so keep you guys posted on that one. For the other boys game, Nova Scotia is up 1 point, 4-3, playing the 8th end, but Alberta does have hammer, so Alberta is definitely looking to score their 1 point or maybe 2 for the win.
New Brunswick on that last run back ended up just playing the straight peel, which is totally fine. And BC will again attempt the guard.
So coming down to Skip's Rocks here, BC is going to be replacing that guard on this one and most likely on the next one as well. So it's going to be tough decisions for New Brunswick as to decide what they're going to do.
They're making this guard very well.
Yeah, I think you almost have to play in that house. You definitely got to move something. It is very fortunate that they do have those 2 yellows on the top 12 staggered, so if need be, you can send those screaming in on your last shot if need be.
This again, I believe they're calling the run back.
I think so, yeah. Really, if you make contact here with those rocks, it's pretty good results.
Yeah. Sweeper's called on very early here.
He looks fairly close. And just missing everything.
So with BC's last rock of the 8th end, they will throw that guard one more time.
A little bit of an update. This is a final rock on the Alberta boys game. Alberta is looking for a run back. And he does seem to make contact, but I don't know if it was enough to score his 1 point. And it is handshake, so Nova Scotia is victorious over Alberta boys.
Here's a replay of that shot that we just described to you. Yeah, so really close, but unfortunately that Nova Scotia rock jams on the side, and Alberta will not make the semifinal.
Yeah, all these sheets are coming down to last rocks. I think there's 2 rocks to come in the girls' game, and now one last one to come in this game after this rock here.
They definitely need this rock to curl.
Yeah.
Here's where you see that weight sensitiveness of guard.
Yeah, it's funny. We were just talking about that, and now that's what we see.
Yeah, so
I think if you can see a little bit of that red rock, as long as you make contact, all 3 are going, and your one top 12 scores your 1 point.
Yeah, so if you notice throughout the whole end, BC was leaving the side of their red shot rock that's close to the center line, showing if they showed any piece of it. Whereas on this guard, they are not. So it's not the side they were hoping to guard of that rock.
Yeah, so definitely big shots here. If you can even catch it thin enough with enough weight.
Straight pick it.
Yeah, you might straight pick it. Or you might, depending if those the back red one is right touching that yellow one, it might stay around to score here too, but not too sure.
We'll find out in a minute.
So Skip Josh is taking an extra breath in the hack, calming the nerves. He looks pretty dialed into the shot. This is the shot to keep his team alive. And they're not touching it yet. And he does go right by it. So it will be the steal of one for Team BC. Making BC victorious over New Brunswick with a comeback after being down a couple points early. So quick update for the other sheets. The girls team, Team Alberta, host Team Alberta versus BC. It is coming down to final rocks. Team host Alberta Skip is faced with a shot where she must get shot rock here or else it's all over for her as well. So big pressure shot coming out for her. Perfect. Thank you for coming and watching, and you can tune into some action tomorrow at 9 a.m. The semifinal games are going at that time.
Thank you.